Date is Wednesday, July 26th. The time is 6:35. I'd like to call this regular town board meeting to order by asking everybody to please rise for the pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is our library director here tonight? No? She couldn't make it? Public comments or questions on agenda items only. If anybody has any questions or comments on the agenda items only, please approach the podium. Seeing nobody approaching the podium, I'll move on. At this time, I'd like to make the motion to open a public hearing on the amendments of the 2023 Town of Dover Recreation Fee Schedule. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made by myself, seconded by Deputy Supervisor House. All in favor of opening the public session?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is open. So, you guys have all seen, and we discussed it a little bit. I don't know of any written comments or questions that were sent to us. With the new facility in Dover finally being to the point where we feel comfortable with opening it up, we had discussions with Rec, Julie Muncy, some of the town board members, some of the town staff, and gotten their opinions, and we adjusted the prices. The Boys Park Pavilion and the JHK Park Pavilion will be at $200 with a $125 deposit. The pavilion rental with outside entrance to the bathroom and at the JHK Park in Dover will be $275 per day. Is that what we did?
200.
200, sorry, I'm reading the wrong line. Pavilion rental with outside entrance to the bathroom at the JHK Memorial property in Dover is $200, same deposit. There we go. The community room, we talked about, the bottom line is if you're renting a community room, you're going to end up using the pavilion anyway. So we went with that. The community room, the kitchen, the whole kit and caboodle, $350 total package. Am I missing anything with a $125 deposit? Am I missing anything, Julie? No. Did we have a community room without the kitchen?
No, we decided not to do that.
Decided not to do that because they
people
need
would wash
for
things in
washing
the sink,
utensils
yeah.
and things like that. Okay. So we're at $200 for the pavilions, $125 deposits across the board, community room, kitchen, and everything, $350. Okay? I read the non-resident price. That's the $275. Okay? But it's $125 with proof of insurance. So if this passes tonight, we will also entertain the applications just to make sure all of everything's covered, okay? I do know at one point the insurance agent said we should maybe just reword that line.
Yeah, I talked to Camille today.
Okay, so we'll look at that, and then we'll get a draft copy to Tommy and the board members and Katie, and we'll all look at it, and once council and a few of us sign off on it, we'll send it to print. Okay? Any questions from the public? Anything else from the board? Hearing nothing else, I'll move to close the public hearing on the fee schedule. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made by myself, seconded by Deputy Supervisor House to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So carried. Reports from the Recreation Department and the Highway Department. Julie?
Sure, go.
I'll lead right into this with it.
I'm Julie Muncy from Dover Recreation.
Today's report, I just want to, it's been a crazy, crazy July with day camp theater going on, and just trying to get everything done. We're kind of a man down right now, so I just want to thank my staff. I want to thank Paula and Dodie for helping us rearrange a lot of the stuff. We've had a lot of weather issues with day camp, so they've been rearranging and calling, and so it's been a little bit crazy. I want to thank the parents and all the kids for cooperating with us and going along with the program. Also want to thank Billy Lowe for coming down to recreation and helping us, and Sean for doing everything. I've been driving them crazy. So thank you to everybody for that. So Dover Community Day, oh, well, I'll just go with day camp. So day camp is going really well. Like I said, we've had to change some trips and some activities. Unfortunately, we've had an issue with the pool up at Camp Berkshire, so right now we're not allowed to go there. They're having some problems up there with that, but we're very lucky to go to Pauling Recreation at Lakeside. So we've been doing that this week, and we're just planning on doing it for the next 2 weeks. So we're there Tuesday, Wednesday. The bus is bringing us there. They've been very accommodating. I want to thank Robin and all her staff and her lifeguards for helping us out with that. And it's been going very well. And the kids are having a good time. For Dover Community Day, it's Saturday, September 16th. We're going to be doing a parade that steps off at 11:30. We're still looking for vendors, but we got, and parade participants, so they can contact the recreation office for more information, but that's going really well. Then we have the senior program. They've been very busy with their trips, their cornhole tournaments, line dancing, exercise programs. I want to thank Stonewood Farms in Millbrook for providing such wonderful food for us. Chef Kristen has been every 2 weeks giving us homemade food, so it's been really nice. They've been getting some salads and some dips and some homemade soups, and they're really enjoying that. And I also want to say thanks Sam and Jeremy, and they're the farmers, and they provide all the vegetables every week, so we go every Thursday and pick that up for them, and they're enjoying it. And we also have Tim Urban, which is our free concert on Thursday, August 17th at 6:30 under the pavilion. I want to thank New Desperation Band that came last month on July 15th. We had some really good reviews with them, so we hope to continue this. We hope a lot of people come out for Tim Urban. And again, that's on August 17th at 6:30. And the next thing is we're just working on our fall-winter program, so we're really busy with that. Any questions?
The question on the swimming issue. So basically, from the point that we don't go to Berkshire because of maintenance issues or whatever it was, so are we stopping the payment with them?
Yeah, we're going to work yep.
And Pauling's picking up from
Yep.
there?
We're just going to use our budget, and we're going to go.
Same price?
Might be a little less,
Okay,
so
thank you.
you're welcome.
All right, so that'll work out.
Yep, it's working out
Okay.
really well. So it was
All
kind of a last-minute run, put in the paperwork,
Just a
so.
budgetary issue, that's all
Yeah,
I'm looking at.
no, we're good.
Okay,
All right,
Yep.
thank you.
thank you. I do have a report from Highway Superintendent Satori, but I will hold off for a second, and I will read that going into my report, because I have something that I will add to that after his, if everybody's okay with that.
Sure.
So we're going to go right to reports of the supervisor and the town board members. Councilman Maluta.
No report this month.
Okay. Councilman Murphy.
No report this month.
Perfect. Deputy Supervisor House.
No report?
Wow, I should have just started reading.
Everybody's on vacation.
And Joe, at any time when I get into the FEMA stuff for the residents out there that are listening, please add if you have to, okay? Report from the highway superintendent. Obviously, the storm that we had a few weeks ago, and then another one, substantial one, a week later. They've been busy, but he states, Highway Department has completed all the oil and stone project that were discussed at the last meeting. We had started summer grading of our dirt roads, which came to a sudden halt due to the severe flooding of the roads, which was caused by the storm July 9th into the 10th, which dumped upwards of 8 inches of rain in the western section of Dover and Wingdale. The heaviest damages were to Ridge Road, Corbin Road, Holsapple Road, Cooperstown Road, and Blackberry Road, better known as Pauling Lake Estates. Ridge Road was washed out in numerous places from one end to the other. Bridges on Ridge were affected and have been repaired except for the Mills Bridge, which is an intersection of Ridge Road and Holsapple Road. That still remains closed as of today. Will need further inspections from engineers before it can be opened or need full, complete repair. This can take a few months, be either repaired or replaced depending on engineers' reports. Other roads affected by the severe storm and flooding were Berkshire Road, Hillside Ave, Sheldon Road, Hoyt Road, Aldrich Road, Southeast Mountain Road, Brasher Road, Sprague Road, Deer Ridge Road, and Hutchinson Avenue. All roads listed are in passable condition. In the next few weeks, everything should be completed except for the Mills Bridge. So please be patient. The Highway Department team is working hard and as fast as they can to get the roads back to 100%. Our Superintendent, Jason Satori, would like to thank his hardworking team for their over and above 110% efforts in getting the roads back to normal and residents on the roads again. Highway Superintendent Jason Satori would like to thank his assistant, Terry, for gathering all the information needed for FEMA, New York State, Dutchess County, as well as fielding all the phone calls. That is the report from Jason. So along with that, you heard at the end words such as FEMA, Dutchess County, and New York State. Today, we did meet along myself, Deputy Supervisor House, our engineer Joe Berger, representatives from the Highway Department in Jason's absence. We met with Senator Hinchy and Assemblyman Bepan today. We toured the worst spots within the town, the bridge on Ridge Road and Pauling Lake Estates, Blackberry Road. They took note of the damage. We discussed every issue we can think of: financial, assistance, permitting to get the work done. We've basically given Joe the go-ahead on starting the legwork with DEC, because the Mills Brook stream, the bridge, is a registered trout stream. So we have to go through all the red tape. And at this point in time, the DEC is not allowed to give out emergency permits. Is that the right wordage, Joe? They're not at this time authorized to give out emergency permits for that type of work, even though the state and our county has declared the state of emergency. So I can tell you from the spot that we were at, which was the bridge, Assembly Bepan and Senator Hinchy both accommodated us, and AJ sent a message to the state governor's office with this concern, and he confirmed before he left today that they're actually working on it and looking into that to see what can be done. So that is a good thing. The estimates are high. The estimates could be higher. But again, I will reiterate what Jason Satori said. His guys are out there every day. They are doing what they can with the manpower and the equipment and the time that they have. And in a matter of a few weeks, they are hoping everything will be put back to where it was, basically, except for the bridge and parts of Pauling Lake Estates due to the blacktop that'll need to be done. So we are filing the paperwork we need to. We are going through with every step of the way that the state would like us to do, the county would like us to do, in order to get our funding back. The biggest problem is the town and or you, the resident, has to foot the bill first. Correct by saying it that way, Joe? So we have to lay out the funding. Deputy Supervisor House spoke with the senator about finding ways of funding at lower interest rates to help situations such as this. But I can assure you, we will get the work done. We will find a way to get the work done. And we will find a way to get that bridge done. And that is all we can do, is put the work, put the time, and put the effort, and keep ringing the phones of our representatives. But I feel pretty confident after today talking to both of them, and I think I can speak for Andrew, that they did commit to working with us as much as they can. You agree?
Yeah, certainly.
So that's where we're at. But with that, because the county has declared, You, the residents, now have the opportunity to put in for the public assistance application. You can go to our website, you can go to the county website and find a link. I believe our town clerk has put it up on our website. It's called a hot link.
It's under news and announcements on the homepage, and it goes to a hot link where they can actually enter their information right online.
Okay, so go to our homepage, look at news and information, and you'll see it. You click onto that, and you can fill out the information with everything that you need to give to the County of Dutchess. Each and every report, bottom line, helps the cause. Okay? Again, you're going to have to repair it on your own, but without that application put in place, you stand no chance of getting any reimbursement back. Okay? And I can't stress that the most. There's a lot of damage out there. I've been called I don't know how many times in the last 3 weeks. Now that the county has made it official, get the application submitted. Joe, did I miss anything? We good with all that? Again, I think the meeting went well today, so let's see what happens, and hopefully we can get to some help to some people that live in our town, just not our roads. All right? With that, just a couple things to discuss.
Supervisor, before you move on, I think you should just kind of touch base on what our preliminary cost estimates are on that type of damage that we've
Okay.
incurred, and kind of, where
we
obviously
stand
these are
financially.
pretty,
Okay. To speak on the statement that Andrew just gave, financially, our preliminary findings and the report that we submitted to the county upon their request, our initial figures are over $700,000. 730 was the number that I submitted. We feel comfortable with that number, but we are also prepared that it's going to go up. The bridge alone, we feel, and if you disagree, Joe, let me know. The bridge alone, we feel, is going to be the major part of that number. All right, because we may have to bring in contractors, the price of the bridge itself, and if we bring in contractors, because it's just too big for our men to do or equipment to handle, that's going to drive the cost up. Okay? So with answering Andrew's statement is, we are looking at $730,000 plus with the damage that the town sustained on town roads only. Okay? I mean, we lost quite a bit of Pauling Lake Estates. That road was just paved.
brand new.
Brand new road, brand new drainage, and
Couldn't handle it.
it was overtaken. Built, designed, piped, and paved to spec. And it happened. 160 plus out the window. And that's what we're looking at. And I will say it again, those guys in that highway team busted their tails getting that ready for weeks upon weeks. So that, again, 730,000. That's what your town's looking at laying out before we hope to get most of it back, if not all. You never get it all back. What's it, about 3/4, Joe? You usually get about 75% back. So, and we have projects scheduled. We have a bridge replacement scheduled, and that money is going to go towards repairs. We'll find a way. It's our job. We'll find a way. Thank you, Andrew. I forgot about that. Okay. With that, we'd like to, I feel it's needed. I'd like to bring up the talk and the idea of putting a committee or a task force together. I'd like to reach out to business owners and large landowners in this town and put a committee together and put them together to look into finally sitting down. We have the comprehensive plan in place. Our zoning is being put in place. But now it's time to put the work and put the ink to the paper and truly talk about redeveloping the center of Dover. and implementing a strategy on how to go there and how to get there. It was brought to me, myself and town clerk have been talking about this. I think it's time. I think it's time that we entertain putting this team together and coming up with a plan, or at least a strategy, like I said. I think it worked with the comprehensive plan. We put business owners, landowners, past and present chairs of planning and zoning boards together, and it worked. We got the utmost compliments from the county on our plan. And I think we can do this again. This will not be a chamber. You know, some people call this type of committee a chamber of commerce. It will not be that. This will be people who are here from Dover, who own businesses and land, to come to this board and say, this is what we think needs to happen, how we think it needs to happen, and this is what we think we need here. We know some of the things we need. Now, we got to find a way to get them here, because it's always the same answers: money and people. So, I'm open for discussion. I think this should be something that we should look at and put together. We will have a board member or myself be the liaison to this committee, and we'll move from there. Anybody have any thoughts or discussion or ideas?
Great idea.
Jay?
Great idea.
John? It's needed? Deputy?
I'm good with it.
You're good with it? So how do we advertise we're looking for something? Is that what we want to do?
Sure.
Or do we want to reach out on our own? I think we advertise.
Sure, we can start to advertise, and then if anyone has recommendations for people we should contact, I'll be glad to follow up with them on behalf of the board.
Okay. So it'll be that we will advertise for members to form this committee. We'll come up with the name of it, and we'll see who we get. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Tom, that have to be a motion. We can just, that's this discussion and do it.
Yeah, it's an
right?
informal advisory.
All right, that's what we'll do. Thank you, everybody. Second thing I have is, we have an avenue to find monies and funding with a little homework, both done here in the office, in either my office or the clerk's office. We basically we do a study, an impact study. We benchmark our energy use. We prove with the changes that we've made both inside and out here at the town hall, at our other locations. I believe the street lights would be considered as well throughout the town that we changed, several years ago, which started under our previous supervisor. We do a study and we show and we prove our savings, and if we hit 10%,
I believe so.
once we hit 10%, we now qualify for funding type avenues, grants, assistance programs, and things like that. And we do the benchmark, and once we prove it, we become eligible. There are other ideas out there, City of Kingston, as well as some other towns, Phillipstown, I believe, is one of them. They went down a route where, and I'm going to turn this over to Katie here in a second, they went a route where the town adopted a full solar policy or program. Katie, would you know a little
Sure.
more for that?
Sure. This is all continuation of the Climate Smart Communities and Clean Energy Communities designation. These are higher level, higher impact actions, among which one is called benchmarking, by keeping track of monthly use of both electricity and fuel oil. If we keep track of those data over time, and then we implement improvements such as LED lighting, both interior and exterior, if we upgrade our heating and HVAC system, and we reach a peak of 10% as a first milestone, we get a $10,000 unrestricted grant that we can in turn use for other types of things. In terms of the change to renewable energy, there's an option called community solar, where for individuals who don't have the ability to put solar panels on their roofs, maybe it's cost prohibitive or that it just isn't in a location, there is an opportunity for a municipality and residents, particularly those of low to moderate income, where you can purchase solar energy or community solar energy, and it automatically qualifies or a 10% discount on your electricity bill. So we're thinking perhaps the town might be the first customer to pursue community solar as an option, and then see how it affects our bottom line, and in turn help especially some of our residents on fixed incomes to be able to do that. Looking to help them as the winter months come ahead and electricity begins to creep up as usual. Also, some communities have actually selected to use renewable energy as their primary source, and their residents can join in or opt out of the possibility of being with one particular provider who will give you the best cost. So those are options that we might want to look into. It is a big decision for a town to do it, but Phillipstown in Putnam County did it, and the city of Kingston, amazing as that would be, they actually have one provider who's a community solar provider, and people who choose not to take part in the discount can opt out. So, but it would be down the road for us to do that big an idea. But certainly something for us to look into to save residents and the municipality money.
The big thing that caught my attention was saving our fixed income residents, such as our seniors. I feel we need to look into this. I've discussed it, like I said, a couple times with Katie, and I think we ought to look into it and pursue it, only because it helps us as well down the road. And truthfully, we've already got a hell of a start. I mean, we've converted the town hall already, we've converted the town lighting, we've converted the outside lighting, any of the new building that Andrew was in charge with up in Dover, that's high efficiency lighting. I think we've already started ourselves on a path that would help us in this. Anybody disagree?
No, but I would like to add that I know for a fact that community solar is going to be a name that people are going to hear a lot of. And as we go into the fall and winter months, you can look at your own electric bill, and NYSEG has a note on it that says you can look for ESCO companies that provide community solar, and you could save on your bill that way as well, on your own personal electric bill. Get ready, buckle up, because, you know, the volatility of the market coming into fall, from my channels as an electrician, I'm getting these, get ready for it, because depending on the weather, depending on everything else, and, world events, whatever, look into that community solar. They're going to push for it. You don't need solar panels on your house or in your yard or anywhere like that. They're out there, the solar farms. New York has invested a lot of money into solar farms. You see them along the Taconic and, a lot of places. There's these solar farms that are huge, and they're putting that power into the grid. So it's, look at your bill and, be informed on it.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Maybe we just need to tread lightly out of the gate here. I know that we're under contractual obligations with Marathon Energy currently.
Okay. Take it from there. All right, the last thing that I have is we've looked into a program. I think it's a plus for everybody throughout the town, both for information, updates, sudden events, scheduled events, and anything else you can think of. It's called Text My Gov. What it is, it's an app that you can download onto your phone or your computer, and you can follow everything that's going on here. It's easier than accessing our web, our page, our website, okay? We've looked into it. I can download my updates to it, basically in a text form. It can be updated by an administrator, whoever we put on there. We feel it's just easier than waiting for the meeting every month. Some people who who have computers but don't have the phones, they can access this from either point. I just think it's a plus. I think it's a plus for the residents in Dover to get the information, the programs that Julie has, sudden changes, meeting schedules. I'd like to entertain bringing this to a resolution at the end of the next meeting, because it will be a form of budget change. I'd like to use ARP money, which we still have some left. The price would be for a 2-year contract setup fee, and 2-year is approximately $13,000. Any discussion?
This is like the equivalent of like a constant contact or something like that, right? I'm assuming? Like an email type blast, but it would be mobile,
Yeah,
I'm
But
assuming, right?
it, but it's a text-based first.
it's a
so-
text-based version.
Yeah.
So, and
I'm not familiar
we
with
can
this.
initiate it.
Oh, okay.
We can initiate, like, reaching out to anybody who signs up
Okay.
and share any municipal business with them, whether it's an agenda or a concert or an alert from flooding or a road closure or a town hall closure due to weather.
This would be a lot quicker, I feel. It would be a lot quicker than waiting for me to give a weather update, because it can be typed easily. Or I can just say, hey, this is what's going on, and you don't have to wait for me to find the time at work or to sit at my desk and do an announcement. We can get things out there a lot quicker and easier, I feel. I think it's right by saying it that way. It's just simpler.
And people who
And it's gonna be at
don't
your
have
fingertips.
internet can still get it by cell.
Mhm.
So it goes right to your phone.
Alling Recreation does something similar.
Do they?
They have it like a mass texting that goes out with reminders of their concerts or it's Team Reach.
Team Reach, it's similar to that. And this, like I said, it can consist of just whatever we put to it. Dates, schedules, events, upcoming meetings, everything. Everybody okay with that? It wouldn't affect the budget at all? And it's going back to the public, which is what ARP money was designed to do.
I'm good with it. If it works, great. If not, we scrap it in
If
two.
not, we scrap it in 2 years. I don't disagree with that. I agree totally. Everybody okay? We try it?
Yeah. Send it.
Let's give it back to the people. That's the way I look at it. All right?
Who's going to be in charge of it? Am I going to get a text message from you like every 3 hours?
Maybe. Maybe. Well, you know what? Maybe all board members will be administrators.
Oh, here we go.
No selling tag sale stuff, though, like Facebook. Okay. So I think we're good with that, and we'll go to a resolution next month. Katie?
That sounds great. Thank you.
Tommy? Thank you. All right. That's all I have. Continue the town board discussion on draft legislation on solar energy systems. You've all had the local law that was submitted, the possible local law that was submitted by our committee, headed up by Rich Renia Jr. I've read through it. We did get I had Planning Board Secretary Marilyn Vermillen forward all the comments and/or grammarian changes, whatever the word should be. But I read through it. I don't see any major changes. I did agree with the representative, our consultant from AKRF, Aaron, with some of the thoughts and things that he felt should be added. That was all forwarded to the committee as well, and I believe, Marilyn, just a yes or no, they agreed? And they're going to add some, correct? So I think that's great. They took the suggestions that were made. They're going to put them into the new thing and come up with a new draft. Planning board had some things, and everything will be changed, including the grammar. But what I'd like to do, and Tommy, I'd like to go ahead and set a public hearing date for the regular meeting next month.
This is going to have to be referred.
I know, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask them to give us the new copy no later than next Friday, the 4th. And from that day until the public hearing, it'll be under review by yourself, correct? And then, and only then, once you okay it, it can go to the county?
So this is a complete zoning change, so it requires a general municipal law 239 referral to Dutchess County Planning.
Yep.
It requires a full environmental EAF. And then Dutchess County will have 30 days to send back comments once we get it to them.
Okay.
So I'm not sure you want to have a public hearing before you get back Dutchess County's comments. You can. We can do that. We could, and then obviously, we're not going to be adopting anything next
No,
month.
no, no, no,
But
no.
we could at least
I just-
schedule the public
I
hearing.
just wanted to see if we can keep the timeline tight,
Yeah, no, I understand.
because, you know, we did have two projects on the table before, you know, and if we could set the deadline of them getting us the new copy by next Friday, that allows 3 weeks for yourself and us to read through it again.
Yep.
The public hearing would be the last Wednesday. And at any time between next Friday and the public hearing, if you reviewed it and find it okay, can we legally send it on to the county then?
Yeah, I
Is that
think
the-
you're going to
that's-
have to
I think
make
that's the
a
question I'm
motion tonight to refer the revised,
Once you say it's good to send.
yeah.
That's the
This way
question I'm
you'll be
asking.
authorized to send it once we have it.
You see what I'm trying to do here?
I see, and if, Rich, I just think instead of trying to push it, you know, in the event that the timelines work out, and if, you know, Dutchess County doesn't get back to us on the 29th day or something along those lines.
Well, I wouldn't
I think that
close the
we-
meeting.
I think that we easily could call a second meeting in September or stuff like that. I mean, we're getting into our busy season here with budgets and stuff like that. I mean, if we need to have another meeting, we have another meeting. We have plenty to do.
It's fine.
And again, I won't close the public hearing. I already have that kind of mindset.
Mhm.
Because there may be comments that we would have to forward to the committee.
Yeah, next Friday is like the 4th.
The 4th.
Of August. So then.
And if it doesn't go to the county before the public
Yeah,
hearing,
the county's been really good about getting back comments. They usually don't take the full 30 days that they're allotted under the law. They've been great to work with in the past. I'm just trying to think in my head, like Andrew said. There's a lot of times there's a second meeting anyway in September, so I think that timeline could work. But I think you should make a motion tonight, at least, to authorize, once we get the revised copy, that it be forwarded to Dutchess County Planning to start their 239 review.
after your review. No?
Yeah, I'll review it quick, because I've reviewed the 22-page draft.
So you're
and
just there for
I've-
the changes.
Marilyn's kept me in the loop on most of the comments and stuff, so I don't think my review's going to take too long.
Okay.
Once I get it.
All right, so let me see if I word this right. So at this time, I'd like to make the motion that we set a public hearing for August's regular board meeting. And in that time frame, I would like to set a deadline on receiving the new version, new draft copy from the committee, no later than next Friday, the 4th. And between August 4th and the regular meeting in August, have the permission to send that new copy on to Dutchess County Planning for their 239 review. Good?
Sounds good.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made by myself, seconded by Deputy Supervisor House. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
If all goes as planned with the timeline, we could potentially be in position at the September meeting, second meeting most likely, to adopt a local
And
law.
I'm okay with not having an early meeting. If we
Well,
have to, we have to.
Even if we did have an early meeting, if
We'll
we
know in
kept the
August. I
public
think we'll
hearing
know in
open,
August
and,
meeting.
but
Yeah.
I'm saying that would allow us potentially at the September meeting
Yep.
to adopt.
Perfect.
Okay.
In a real world. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Marilyn, can you relay that to Chairman Renia, please?
Just Before we move on, in regards to the notes sent in by Chairman Courtine, he was talking about the max capacity for these solar facilities, and Joe and I had just a brief moment to talk about potentially going with Chairman Courtine's notes and suggestions that potentially we shouldn't cap ourselves, at that 5 megawatt limit. As technology changes, so will, their ability to produce more energy out of smaller units.
Absolutely.
So, for the longest time, it was only 1 megawatt that they could do, and then there was an immediate jump to 4 to 5 megawatts to what we have now. So, and that happened just in a matter of, just a few years. So, I'm hesitant to lock us in to the type of power without kind of taking into consideration that, as things progress, so will the technology and its ability to produce power. I mean, we're going to need it for sure. So I don't know if there's a way, Joe, that we should reword that in regards to, without locking ourselves into that type of load, or...
Yeah, because you
Sure.
don't want to
Feeling on
be like hostage to it.
I'm not sure why the committee chose 5 megawatts, but I think it was more to keep the area down, because basically 5 megawatts at today's technology is a certain area. So maybe just do away with it, because it's really just your site plan will determine whether the area is going to be satisfactorily done. You have all your other buffers and all your other requirements in there. The 5 megawatt seems to be an arbitrary number to achieve a smaller size. But as like I said, if technology changes in a year, which it could, where they can do 10 in half the space,
Right.
you're going to, and I've heard people say, well, you could change the law. Well, the law could take 6 months to change, and that could discourage a investor from coming here by saying, oh, they're limited to 5, let's go to another town where we're not limited to 5.
Right.
Because in development,
Kind of
development
catch 22
potential, you
coming from
always
the town
go
that just passed
by
a
the current
moratorium.
code.
I think the connecting point to this, though, like I think you just said it, is the acreage.
Yeah.
They did a study of the open pieces throughout the town, and they came up with that number 50 acres.
And that could be the number,
And then you can only use 35% of that.
that's what we should be put in there.
So the crudest example I can give you is, piece of paper is 50 acres, you're going to put 35% of that in the center. So you or I don't see it.
And
I
that's
think
what-
part of that was to correct the lesson we learned on the one up the road.
Exactly, and that's,
You don't want to see it.
and
So if we're saying that 10 megawatts?
Yeah.
10 megawatts can fit in that same space in 10 years,
it doesn't matter.
do we change something in another part of it? Or do we just amend the law when that does happen, or technology meets us? I think that's the question, no?
Well, the problem isn't changing it. It's going to take us a statutory time to change it. And if you're trying to encourage, we're talking about economic development in another part of the town, in a different note. When developers come, and they are developers, that's what these energy companies are, they work on the current code, not a potential code. They're going to just bypass Dover if another town allows 10 megawatts. They're not going to stop and say, hey, what's it going to take to change your law to let us come to your town? So you may just, that's the way I see it. If the restriction is the area, we should put the area in the code, not the 5 megawatts, because that's really not, the 5 megawatts was an easy way to restrict it to the size.
So you're saying,
Size.
put the ball in their court by saying, we're still going to stick by the 50 acres, the 35%, you find a way to make 10 megawatts work.
Yeah, that's what we always want anyway.
Yeah.
We don't want more than our area. We were just coming, the committee chose the 5 megawatts as an easy way to get to it, I think, or,
I mean,
I don't want to use it easy, but.
I hate to say it this way, but I think the consensus is we don't want to see it.
Yeah, and if that's the reason, which is a good one, we should put in the code the area and the amount of area
Right.
we're willing to let it use.
So,
I mean, that's how we do for residential, that's what we do for commercial. We say how much percentage of area you can have on your 10 acres for your commercial building.
okay. So you're saying we can still keep the acreage the same, the percentage of use the same,
Yeah.
but you find a way, Mr. Developer, to find a way to make 10 megawatts work in that area?
Yeah, the size of the plant
technology
should
If
not
the
matter.
technology allows, correct.
And the
That's a
state
good
law
line.
that permits it and stuff, it's totally outside of ours.
Marilyn, do you understand that? Can you bring that to Richie? And truthfully, based on what we did just before this discussion, if it does throw a curveball, just let us know. If you need more time, you need more time.
Let's see what
But I understand it, because remember, we talked about this, and Andrew and I talked about it a little bit too. With Joe saying it that way, I'm still taking 50 acres, and now I'm making 10 megawatts fit, but you find the way, because you're not getting any bigger.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.